Dottie.
Good afternoon. This is the San Joaquin County Civil Service Commission. It's Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 at 2:30, and I call this meeting to order.
Thank you, Dottie. I will do roll call. Commissioner Lofstrom,
Here.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Here.
Commissioner Ramos.
Here.
Thank you.
Our first item is approval of the minutes. Do I have any discussion or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
You need to make it.
Oh, that's a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Everyone in agreement say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And no opposed, the motion has passed. Moving on, we have been given a report of disciplinary actions. Does someone want to discuss that with us?
I can just read those for the record. So we do have an order for reduction in salary from Child Support Services. For Child Support Program Manager, there's been no appeal to that action. And then there's an order of dismissal for out of mental health services. Our mental health outreach worker is the classification, and that action has been appealed to arbitration.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions?
No questions.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the report of disciplinary action.
I'll move to approve.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion has passed. Okay, moving on.
All right, so we have classification project 23-001 out of the Information System Division. And Molly Bunsalot, personnel analyst with HR, will make the presentation to the commission.
Good afternoon, chairs. The Information Systems Manager is assigned to the Information Systems Division. Managers in this classification oversee various information systems activities such as implementation or maintenance of related systems hardware, software, and programs. On October 12th, 2022, Civil Service Commission approved to add a substitution pattern to the Department of Information Systems Manager classification specifications. This substitution allows for applicants with certain information systems certifications or trainings to qualify for entry into the series. Adding this pattern to the Information Systems Manager provides consistency and continuity with the other analyst classifications in the Information Systems job family that already include this substitution. Thank you.
Does anyone on the commission want to ask a question or make a comment or need another minute?
No question, no comment for me.
No, I'm fine with everything.
I do I have a comment. So in the classification paper that we have, it says what you just read, and then upon learning of this change to the Department Information Systems Manager, the county's Chief Information Officer, et cetera. So when you're making a change, I mean, you send out this information to everybody, right? So it sounds like the person didn't know it until it already happened. I mean, it could have been done together.
Yeah, so I think the initial change was done to a different series. So that series is our Departmental Information Analyst series. And so that classification is typically housed throughout county departments. It's part of our decentralized information systems. And then our Chief Information Officer, Mark Thomas, is responsible for our centralized services. It's a different job series. So I think sometimes what happens once these changes happen and we initiate recruitments, it creates questions for people when they think, oh, there's a difference in the pattern that I had to qualify for versus this one. And so sometimes what happens is candidate pools are identified and it's realized that there's a difference. And they, in this case, our Chief Information Officer thought it would be appropriate if it was also carried over to his classification series.
Okay, thank you for that explanation, and it certainly seems like a good path forward to me as far as putting them together. Any other comments?
No, it looks like what I see a pattern going on in the changing the things and making a wider scope of getting people to be able to apply, given experience, instead of just a BA degree or something like that in exchange for that. And I see that. I think that's a good movement. I think it's still important that, for higher education, but recognizing that people learn through job experiences is a good thing, I think. And I think that's a good thing, that we're expanding it, and still the things that they have to get, those credentials, I guess, they're not something that you just get like taking something online or something like that.
That's correct. So those certifications are generally somewhat arduous. They may take years of experience or several courses and some form of testing to show the competency and those skills that are required. And so if we were substituting a certification in education, we'd be looking for that type of a situation where, in some cases, the degree will provide people with some of those minimal competencies to perform the essential functions. In other areas, as you were saying, some other certification or work experience can provide those same skills. And so we don't want to create a situation where any of our patterns are creating an unnecessary barrier to people gaining employment. If they have the competency to do the job, we want them to be able to, be considered for the position. So it is definitely a movement, in some cases, away from requiring the degree, where it could be seen as a barrier to employment, where there's other life skills or work skills that could benefit the organization.
And these other things that you have, your office approves them.
That's correct.
So they can get a hold of your department and ask, if I do this, will that give me?
That's correct. And we also have it on our website, so
Yeah.
people can access it at any time to see what certifications we consider as qualified to substitute for all or part of the education.
Good, I think that's good.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve classification project 23-001?
A motion to approve?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. The motion has passed.
Okay, next for the Commission's consideration, we have classification project 23-002 from the Public Works Department to amend the classification for Engineer 5. And again, Molly Bunsalat will present.
The Engineer 5 is a senior management classification used by multiple divisions in the Public Works Department to support the design, development, and construction of various public works projects throughout San Joaquin County. In August 2022, the Public Works Department requested changes to the Engineer 5 classification specifications to remove the educational requirement of a bachelor's degree from the minimum qualifications to better align with the State California Board for Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists qualifications for the professional engineering licensure. Currently, the engineering series pattern allows for possession of a bachelor's degree or an engineering training certificate with experience to qualify for entry into the series. Removal of the bachelor's degree will no longer impede internal candidates from advancement throughout the series who holds a PE, a professional engineer, but lack the formal education. Human Resources has made these changes and is asking you to adopt the recommended amendments to the Engineering 5 classification. On March 28th, the draft classification specification was shared with San Joaquin County Management Association, and the labor organization took no issue with the proposed changes. Christy Rea from the Public Works Business Administrator is available and online should you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Christie's online? The Public Works Administrator's online?
Yes, I see her.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So, just for some background, I'm a geologist, so I'm familiar with the board requirements. The question I had is, I mean, I understand what you're doing. Oh, there you are. Thank you. I didn't see you. So I understand I understand that the board doesn't require a bachelor's degree, and I understand you're trying to be consistent with the board. My only concern is, I just wanted to confirm with you that in order to have this Engineer 5 position, you do need to be a registered engineer, because I'm thinking of the other person. Okay, okay. You know where I was thinking of, right? The person who's a qualified engineer but not registered. Would they still be able to? They wouldn't, would they?
So the engineer, the difference really was the engineer 4 and the engineer 5.
Uh-huh.
So the engineer 4, the minimum qualifications is that you have to have a valid certificate or registration as a civil engineer or traffic engineer issued by the California board. So that's what a 4 states. And
Okay.
there is no education requirement on a 4.
Okay.
And then a 5, which is higher.
Yes.
You can be 2 years as an engineer 4, and you've met the qualifications, because an engineer 4 has to be licensed. Or you can have 2 years experience as a registered civil engineer, and you have to have a bachelor's degree. Well, we're wanting to remove the education requirement from the more senior position, because it's not a requirement of even a lesser position. And as long as they have the experience and they're licensed, then they meet the qualifications of the 5.
Okay, thank you. And I do see that. I was just worried about the inadvertently having someone who wasn't registered but relatively high in the system. But you've made it very clear that registration is a requirement for
Yes, it is.
promotional opportunities. So then
Yes,
that
it
took
is.
care of my only concern.
And Commissioner Lofstrom, if I just may add, engineers can be at the levels 1, 2, and 3 without the professional registrations. The 4 and 5 require it. And then our deputy directors, you actually have patterns where you could be a registered engineer or not. So we've had in the past, we've had people who have even a master's degree in engineering, but we're not registered engineers. So
Okay, thank you. That was just a little bit of troubling part for me, and so, great, okay, thank you. So I have no further questions. Does anyone else on the board have a comment or a question?
No questions from me.
Yeah, I have a comment. I wanted to see on the first part that shows I guess that's the one that was going to be changed, the one that was adopted in '99. Is that correct, as shown there? And then the change is the one that we're going to be adopting today, I guess,
yeah,
amending.
so on each of our job specifications, we do have that kind of the history of the job classification. And so what you're referring to there, this classification of Engineer 5 was originally created and adopted by the commission in May of 1999. It was renumbered in 2003, amended in 2004, and then we'll record today's date for, if you accept the amendments today.
Okay, what I'm concerned about, though, is the language regarding the ADA on the original one before we change it here. The lettering there is it's smaller than the rest of it, and I don't understand why that is so. It's like it's an afterthought, or you notice it?
I do see that on the one version I have has it the same font and one has it smaller. We'll make sure that the font is corrected so
The
that
fonts
it's.
is, it should be the same as
absolutely.
the fonts above it. And it shows so on I think on the one that we're approving, it shows it, the
Yes,
font. is-
yes, the red line version does show it as well.
Now, my question is, when we approved to do a blanket thing on all the other ones, is it still the font is going to be is like this, the small font?
It will not be the small font on all of them. It'll be the same font. We'll make sure that it's aligned and formatted correctly for all the
Great,
specifications.
okay, thank you. And I'll move that we adopt this amending the classification of specifications for Engineer 5.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 No opposed, the movement has passed.
Thank you.
Movement, the motion.
Public Works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that, I think, takes us to the next meeting, which is,
And Commissioner Lofstrom, if we
Public
could just
comment,
check
thank
for
you.
public comment.
So we have no public comment.
okay, thank you. Yeah, there, I see it now. Okay. So the next meeting is Wednesday, May 10th, 2:30 in this building. And if there's no other further comments, this meeting is
Oh, wait a
adjourned.
minute.
You
Just
have a
minute.
further comment.
Yeah, I just want you to know that on the June date that we have, I'm not going to be able to make that date,
Okay.
yeah, the June date. I'll be out of town.
So would you be available the week before, the week after, if it's something pressing comes up that we need to meet?
Oh, yeah, I can look at my calendar right now.
What about you, Domingo?
I don't see any issue with either or.
Okay, just checking our calendars in case for some reason there's a need to have the meeting.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was thinking we also can continue to work with our board members for Districts 2 and 4 to see if they can find some commissioners to join you. I'm not sure if that would happen before, in time for the June meeting. But
Now, the June meeting, what day is that on now?
June meeting is on, oh, shoot, I'm looking at May,
June
June
14th.
14th.
Okay, that's it, June 14th.
It looks like our calendars could accommodate the 21st, which is the following Wednesday.
Yeah, I think I could make that one.
No?
That's the
21st.
board hearings, budget hearings.
Oh,
Oh, I don't have that here. Okay.
Okay, well, we can probably discuss further in May, and we can come here with our calendars, and if we need to set up an optional date, we will. Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to suggest that if we can, Ms. Strange, you can work with the commissioners to identify a secondary date in June, and that way we can confirm that, and it would be presented at our May meeting,
Yeah.
so the public would be aware.
I'll do that, because I'll have to make sure that this room is available as well. So I'll send out some dates that will work for us, and you can just respond.
Yes, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a better way to go than what I was trying to do.
the other thing I wanted to, do you have something about?
I do, real quick, so
Yeah,
before
go
I
ahead.
forget.
Sorry.
So we've gone to this streamlined agenda, which I really love, but it was helpful to have all the dates that used to be here through the end of the year, so I'd recommend putting those dates back on.
I can do that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the other thing is although you're mailing the agenda that was mailed on the 6th, I just got it today. And I really like the hard copy because then I can write notes. If I'm going to really study something, I like to have a hard copy in front of me. And I just got it today. I
Yeah,
wasn't
that
able-
surprises me. I work really hard to get those out on Thursday, right after we do agenda review on Wednesday and do any updates to what we have to work on, and I get them out on Thursday. I'm surprised it took that long for you to get it.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, I was going to suggest, if you wanted to, you could, I don't mean to bring it to my house, but if you just put it over to my daughter who's in the courthouse, Judge Villaputa, I could get it from her or get it.
Do you
Give it
get
to
the electronic version that I send to you?
Yes, as I say though, I don't like to work with the electronic thing. I can't make notes on it. And this one wasn't a real long one, but when we get some that are really long, I don't print them out. I'm at home and I don't want to be able to have to print them out.
Okay, let me communicate with you further, and we'll figure out how to get that packet to another location if you need it done like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay, good. No other comments? Then this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah.